Well, as the city of St. Louis prepares for the Kentucky Derby tomorrow, we've been reporting on that. Protesters continue to, of course, seek justice for its lost citizen, Breonna Taylor. Today, a documentary will air to give people a better understanding about her life and the way she died.
The last thing she said was, "Turn off the TV." Next thing I remember is a loud bang at the door.
911, where's their emergency?
Somebody kicked in the door inside my girlfriend. Please, God, help!
Well, you can hear more of that in the New York Times Presents The Killing of Breonna Taylor. Documentary filmmaker Yoruba Richen joins us now at the preview. So good morning to you. Thank you for waking up with us. I watched the trailer for this. It is powerful, just that minute-long trailer. How long did it take you to work on this project?
Thank you for having me. This was a very fast turnaround for an hour film. I started on the project, on the film, around mid-June, and it's airing tonight. So it's a real fast turnaround. We wanted to get it out there. It's such an important story. So my whole team made Herculean efforts to tell the story and to get it out to the public.
Yeah, you guys definitely did a lot of groundwork, kind of uncovering the story and the person that really is Breonna Taylor. You interviewed a lot of people here. Which stories really stuck out to you the most? Because obviously, aside from Breonna Taylor being an EMT, a lot of people don't really know much about her.
Absolutely. I mean, it was the stories of her, from her friends and from her family and from Kenny, who you just showed part of the interview. Really, what struck me in making this film is that not only was she the beloved daughter of Tamika Palmer, her mother, but she was such an inspiration and a mentor to her friends, to her cousin, who she was very close with. She supported them in ways that were almost parental. One of her cousin Pri says that she learned more from Breonna than she did from her own mom. And of course, her and Kenny had a long relationship. They were sometimes, as young people can be, sometimes together, sometimes not, but they were always friends. They were always friends. That's the first thing he said to me when I sat down with him. So, and of course, Tamika's harrowing night of finding out, what happened to her daughter.
Because it's a bit of an investigation here, right? You're taking on this hour-long investigation as well. What really happened, to the best of your knowledge, that may not have been put out there already?
Well, there's still a lot we don't know. One of the big things that we don't know is which bullets from which which police officers shot her. So that is something that is still, that we don't know. What we do know is that the police officers were able to obtain these no-knock warrants in five places, one of which was her ex-boyfriend, Jamarcus Glover, and one of which was her house. And they, in their affidavit for the warrant, they had surveillance footage of Breonna and Jamarcus's connection, of her being seen at his house in the last, couple of months. But what the lawyers for Breonna and the family says is that those warrants, that information was old. It wasn't up to date. And when you get one of those warrants, you have to ask a series, that should be up to date. And also, too, that the way the warrant was executed, I mean, obviously we know the warrant was executed incorrectly because she's, was killed.
Right.
But the way the warrant was executed was incorrect, from the very fact that they did not, that the warrant on her apartment, they didn't look at the series of questions that they always ask on these warrants, like, is this person known to be armed and dangerous? Is there surveillance cameras? Are there surveillance cameras on the place? Is the door fortified? None of which was the case for Breonna's apartment. So we lay out all the reasons, that the police, who never responded to our request for comment, by the way, but we lay out what they say the reason was that they got the warrant, and that is the whole thing that set all these events in motion. They were looking at this entanglement, that continuing entanglement that she had with her ex-boyfriend, and they assumed that drugs or money were going to be found at her apartment, none of which were.
Yoruba, a lot of people argue that Breonna Taylor could have possibly been saved. Do you think that is the case? Because there's a lot of controversy about how soon medical attention was rendered after they realized that she was shot.
Well, from what we know, we do know that an ambulance was not there. It was there initially and then called off, and we don't really know the reason for that. I think it's debatable whether she could have been saved. My understanding is that she was killed pretty immediately after those bullets hit her. So I don't think we really know that.
Yoruba, thank you for coming on this morning and shedding some light on this documentary. Thank you for doing this documentary as well to really tell a full picture here and a full story. Appreciate your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And you can check out that documentary series. The New York Times Presents. It airs tonight on FX as well as streaming on Hulu.